everybody. Welcome back to Kruse Control. It is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. Thank you for being here at Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. I am your host, Brian Kruse. Thank you so much for being here. As always, happy Wednesday. And joining me live from Florida, the lovely Miss Sabrina Vittori. Sabrina, welcome back to Kruse Control. How you doing tonight?
Hi, wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. It's back to the two of us tonight, so we're just gonna have some fun and we're gonna go through some news. It'll be a good time. How's your day?
Good. It's my Saturday, so I actually have a day off today, and it was lovely to do nothing.
Saturday in the park. Something about the 4th of July?
I'm definitely not in the park, but I'm in the Hilton, and I'm enjoying myself.
Well, it's still a nice place to be on a Saturday. Well, it's a Wednesday for some of
my
us.
Saturday.
It's a hump day. It's a hump day and a Saturday, depending where you're at. But anyways, we got to jump right into it. So now it's time for some breaking news. All right, everybody. The very first thing I want to talk about is Ant-Man Quantumania. That's right. Ant-Man Quantumania is coming to digital and Blu-ray release. Already here, everybody. We got to talk about it. So Blu-ray on May 16th, but digitally on April 18th. And they're actually saying that it'll probably launch on Disney Plus April 18th as well, because that's how Marvel tends to do it. They kind of launch digital and Disney Plus at this very same time. So good for them. It actually makes sense. It's right out there digitally, so why not just upload it on your streaming service? Not everybody does that, but Disney does do that. Now, Ant-Man had a 60-day theatrical release before it's going to home theater, which is great. Look at Shazam. Shazam, they only did 30 days, and they're going to digital already. So that shows you where that was at. It still made $472.9 million, which isn't too bad. Of course, it wasn't a billion-dollar movie, but hey, not bad overall. I think if you didn't see it, you should still watch it while it's in theaters. It's still there. I'm just saying it's still there. Check it out if you have time. If not, well then, watch it on digital very soon. And also, something else I want to talk about is The Last of Us. So The Last of Us Season 2, because, we got through one, we got to start talking about Season 2. So season 2, they've been scoping out where they're actually going to shoot. Well, Vancouver is where they're going to continue the saga of Joel and the 14-year-old Ellie. They're going to be going to Vancouver and doing the whole thing there. And apparently the second part or the second game takes place in a big part of the Pacific Northwest. So they'll be recreating this in Vancouver. And the creators were talking about, people were saying, what about the zombies? What about the zombies? And apparently they said season 1 didn't have as much, but they're already planning for season 2 to be a lot more zombies. And they said when you went into the show, they're like, we didn't just look at it as one season. Right away we thought about like where the show could go and how far we go in the future and what we'd be doing each season. And we were saying season 2 is going to be a lot more gory, zombie, apocalyptic world, right, Sabrina? That's exactly what you want to see, right? You want to see more zombies?
Not at all. Not at all. I was very happy with the first season. I don't need any more of those weird tentacles coming out of anyone's mouth. I think it was just as effective without having all that bullshit, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I mean, come on. It's a zombie show. That was a big critique. People were saying there weren't enough zombies.
I mean, I get that, but there was the impending doom of the zombies and the world that the zombies created, and it was implied. I don't know that we need to push the envelope on that. I feel like it was I liked when they all came to and the really their purpose was to enact terror upon the protagonists, right? So basically there was that looming threat the whole time, whether or not there were actual zombies on screen. So I don't know that it's necessary to have millions more of them, and there was plenty. And I think it was done tastefully and done well, and I really enjoyed the first season. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to watch it if there's more zombies. I absolutely will be here for it 100% because I loved the first season, but I don't know. That second episode was really good, though. That was the multitude of the zombies in the second episode.
Yeah, where they all come out of the ground. That was awesome. I love that. That was fun.
And it was great, but there was that same tension in every episode, even though it wasn't necessarily created by the zombies. It was created by people who were in a society. It was created by Marlene and her people. There was plenty of times where you still felt that way, even though zombies weren't there. So I feel it was definitely implied, and I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like the characters really spoke for themselves. And if the creators were saying already, like, there's a plan here, we knew from season one on that, of course, you're going to get some zombies. It's a zombie movie or a zombie series, I should say. It's post apocalyptic. It's the craziness of like them trying to survive. But at the same point, we're establishing these characters based off how the game did it. And we're really trying to dive into them as people and where they're going through and how they survive and how they live and thrive in this world. And then we'll see more of that in the future because now there's a whole new storyline moving forward and new characters coming in. But this is very early. It's very early. Like I was saying, this is just something they were saying. They're going to be shooting in Vancouver. It's going to be a while till we get this. The first one took a long time to shoot too. So it's just a taste of that. Something else I want to talk about, a taste of that. And we talked about Game of Thrones before, but I have one more little newsworthy tidbit about Game of Thrones. So apparently they're talking about what's next. And yesterday we were talking, was it Monday? We're talking about Game of Thrones and the spinoff of the Targaryen spinoff. And it's like, now they're saying, what else can we do? Well, they're going to do another Targaryen spinoff. That's what's going to happen. HBO is like, we're going to do one more Targaryen spinoff about Aegon, the first, about his reign, about him coming down and like destroying everything and conquering the realm and making the actual throne for Game of Thrones. So we're actually going to see him and what he told, which is like 300 years before the start of Game of Thrones. Now, the latest spinoff was only 200 years before Game of Thrones. So,
Only?
I mean, only 200. This is 300.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So House of the Dragon was only 200. This is 300. I mean, they keep going back in time so much. So it makes sense to me that you would just tell this story. But I think this would be the story you would tell first. You think you would tell this and then lead up, as opposed to waiting. And like everyone's talking about how much of a badass he was, but it's like we didn't get to see that. We just heard stories in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. We heard about that he was a badass. Well, now they're going to go back and they're saying they're also going to do a feature component too, along with the series. So they're going to have a feature film that leads into the series. And their plans are in flux, but as they're saying right now, you're gonna get Aegon the First, Targaryen around, and you're gonna get him lots of dragons. You're gonna see him bringing the dragons in and conquering. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But they're apparently really gung ho about this. So if you're a fan of the Targaryens, you're getting more. If you're a fan of this, you're getting more. So and the thing is about House of the Dragon, you think that they would just talk about that more. They're like unsure about that as a whole. So they're already like, let's do something else. And we still haven't heard about the Jon Snow show yet. So I don't know what's going on with that yet. But this is something they are moving forward with. So if you're a fan, you're getting more. And hopefully it works out for them. Because I don't know if people are fatigued by this or not at this point. So Sabrina's not about this, though. She's like,
You just like beat it to death, why don't you? Like, we get it. Like, fuck off. I don't know how many times I have to say come up with a new fucking idea. Like, and a new idea doesn't mean like one more 100 years back in time. Like, fuck off. Like, just stop. It's so obnoxious at this point, honestly.
But I think this like he was the badass everyone's
Who
talking
cares?
about. Why don't you just jump to that instead of doing House of the Dragon? Why don't you go back and start where it started and then work your way up, as opposed to jumping in the middle and then like now you're going back in time.
And like they had a very successful thing and they're like, well, what are we going to do from here? And I think that it was successful, this prequel that they did, you know what I mean? And now they're like, well, let's do another prequel and let's do another prequel. And soon we're going to be 1,000 years back in time and it's going to be cave fucking people. Like, I've had enough. Like, just stop, please. For fuck's sake.
You never know. They'll just keep jumping. You never know, actually. But
just stop.
And they're still talking about, like I said, the Jon Snow spinoff, which continues Jon Snow's story from after Game of Thrones. So we'll go back in the future, and we'll go back in time. We'll be all over the place. And House of Cards, House of the Dragon will never end.
I agree, Lexi.
So never new ideas. Same old, same old. I know. That's this town, especially right now with what everything's going on with the WGA, potential writer's strike. People are like ripping at old ideas. Like, what can we throw together fast, make a script, so if there's a strike, we can like be ready to shoot.
I assure you that Game of Thrones, a prequel 100 years prior to the previous prequel, is not a quick throw together script. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Just saying. Okay? It's not like it's a sitcom. Like it's like
You're
literally
right.
like there's no quick throw together about it. Like, I get your point, but that's fucking definitely inaccurate.
Well, I'm just saying, like, people are always like nervous about like what's gonna like work, you know? If they have something that's worked in the past, they believe it'll work again, as opposed to throwing a new idea out there and being like, well, people like it or not, because you just don't know. There's a lot more question marks when you put something new out there. But then again, we scream for new stuffs. A sitcom, a Game of Thrones sitcom. Let's do it. Hey guys, I just came back from outside, and the White Walkers are everywhere. How's your day?
I like how you Seinfelded that shit. Like seriously.
I just got off my dragon. Oh man, his hooves are tired. Anyway, you don't have hooves. Horns? I don't know. Anyways, so I want to talk about the WJ one time.
No, they have claws. They don't have hooves. They have claws.
They have claws, you know. I want to talk about the WJ. Just a quick update on this, because everyone's wondering again, like, what's going to happen? Are they going to strike? Are they not going to strike? Well, today they were supposed to stop negotiating and take 2 weeks off. That was the whole idea. They're like, we got to stand still. We're going to do a vote for a strike authorization. And then 2 weeks later, we'll come back and we'll talk, because apparently they were saying it was moving really slow. They weren't getting anywhere. But now they're saying they're scheduling a meeting for Tuesday. So they're going to take off for the Easter holiday. They're going to come back on Tuesday and talk some more. So it's a good sign that things are moving forward and actually working out between the two sides. It could be great. It could be great. We don't know yet. I mean, there's still someone on the insider saying that it's like if they brought their divorce papers to the wedding. That's what people are still saying about this negotiation right now. That was like an insider. But they have a 25-person negotiating committee, and they're working on this. And they're working on the main issues. Of course, it still comes down to the residuals and the mini rooms. They're really worried about these mini rooms, about cutting down the writers and having less people that are getting their jobs, getting their paycheck, working on their pension, getting their residuals, all of that. But there seems to be some progress, they're saying. They're making some common ground, which they didn't think would happen. The two parties are closer than expected on a number of key issues, which suggests there's more momentum on this side than they predicted there would be. So things are kind of moving, and this realization they can actually get back to work that fast on Tuesday is a good sign. Now, they're still going forward with the strike authorization, so they're still going to have that in their pocket, but they're going to move forward, and they're going to see what happens. That's a good sign, though. When I heard this, I was really surprised that they're saying that they've actually made some traction here, and that they're actually giving. I hear the producers are actually giving into them a little bit about what they want, but like, how much are they really, you know? How much are they really? The fact they're still moving forward. No, the fact they're still moving the strike authorization stuff means they're still worried about it. They're still like, we got to keep moving this forward just in case it falls through. And, you know, they're asking for a big pay increase with residuals. So, and the mini rooms thing, they're trying to cut writers down. That's what they try to do. They cut numbers all the time. You cut numbers, you save money. That's how I look at it. Now, the writers are like, we don't want to do that, because then you have people out of work and you have people that are waiting there, hoping to make money. They're in this union, paying their dues, that aren't working, and that doesn't work for everybody, because then it's like now they don't want people to pay their dues. Then the union doesn't have their money, and there's a lot of issues that factor if people aren't working. So take it for a grain of salt. That's where it's at. They say new things all the time. They had their initial meeting though on April 1st, where they said we have some progress, but we still want that strike authorization, because they're not there yet. It's been 2 weeks, but apparently they've only been in the same room for about 10 hours in that 2 weeks. That's about it. Which is kind of wild to me too. About 10 hours. And beyond that, they've been saying the WGA's been doing a lot of speeches as opposed to like putting out what they actually want. Like being like, we're writers and we deserve the best. You know what I mean? They're having like their Maximus moment from Gladiator, and they're like speaking to the crowd as opposed to actually working on the points and negotiating, going back and forth. So maybe that's just a start. So we'll see. Sabrina, what do you think? You think there's some progress made here? Do you think that's actually good, or do you think that we're still leaning towards a strike?
I mean, I think it is what it is. I don't necessarily think that there's progress. I think they say that all the time because they want people to think that everything's going smoothly. And if they're still moving forward with the authorization, I feel like there's definitely question marks. And, you know, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the producers know that the writers mean business, and the DGA is behind them, and SAG is behind them. And so, like, I feel like that is, you know, I feel like they will probably give more than they normally would. So, I mean, it could be positive. I'm not hopeful though.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know if everybody's seeing you strobe out, but you're going green back and forth right now for me.
I am?
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know if it's like that out in the world right now, but it was just very strange. So you keep flashing green and back.
Lexi, am I turning like into a Hulk or something? What's happening?
I don't know. It's really weird. Very
Do I have a
weird.
delay? It looks like I have a delay. I don't see anything
Looks,
green.
yeah, looks like you have a delay. I mean, but that's on my part. I don't know if that's actually in the live feed, but that's what it
Oh,
looks like
no,
right
Lexi
here.
said she sees it and I'm flashing in and out. Let me, I'm just going to reboot really quickly while you go to the next topic.
Okay. But yeah, so the WGA, I'm not really sure what that means for everybody. If it will, I mean, they say this stuff all the time, like we're making progress, we're moving forward, it's going to be great. And then, end of the day, they still move forward with the strike. So only time will tell everybody, but I am a little positive because I didn't expect any kind of positive news going forward with this, and there is some. The next thing I want to talk about, which I think is a very positive idea, and it's something original, is the show, or I should say the movie, Crater. Crater for Disney Plus. So this is something that I read about. I'm like, oh, this actually sounds like a cool concept. I love space stuff all the time. So I saw this like a new sci-fi adventure on Disney Plus. Sign me up. Starring the Ghostbusters Afterlife actress McKenna Grace. Awesome. I like her a lot. I think she does a great job. This coming of age film will be available for streaming on May 12th, exclusively on Disney Plus. The Crater tells the story of a boy living on the moon, on a moon colony. Okay, so that sounds cool to me too. The whole film focuses on the story of Caleb Channing, who was raised on a lunar mining colony and about to be permanently relocated to an idyllic faraway planet following the death of his father. Now, the synopsis goes forward saying that before leaving, though, he wants to fulfill his dad's last wish, and he and his three best friends go out and try to find the final adventure on a journey to explore a mysterious crater on the moon. So for me, I'm like, it's cool. It sounds like Goonies in space in a way. You know, these kids are going to be like experimenting or exploring the moon and finding their way around, having a great time. And it might be a great adventure. And it's kids. You never see kids on the moon, you know? You never see that shit. So I'm like, that's kind of cool. It's like a twist of a sci-fi thing with like, you know, growing up and growing pains and being a young kid and exploring it. And, you know, maybe they'll be having sex on the moon. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What do you think, Sabrina? She's back there smiling. She's back, everybody.
I slow clapped you. It's some bullshit right there.
To me, it sounds fun. It just sounds fun. I mean, it's produced by Sean Levy, and then it's also produced by Dan Levine, which is cool, and Dan Cohen. And there's it's gonna be something very interesting. I think so. Very interesting.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I put my phone on secret.
I know we're having all
Rachel.
all troubles tonight.
I did the secret focus. Goldie's calling. I can't. Oh, so more.
He's phoning in. He's phoning in.
He's gonna phone in. I should put him on speaker and be like, "You're on the podcast, sir." I think that it's an original idea, and I'm super jazzed about that. So.
I still don't see your face, so I'm still staying off you right now.
For fuck's sake! God damn it! Now I'm going green again. What is? I'm like holding out.
And now you're going green again. So, Crater for Disney Plus. Again, it's one of those things where I feel like it could be a lot of fun. I don't know what everybody else thinks out there, but it's like the fact that they're going to have, like I said, Goonies in space. And the fact that, like, Sean Levy was going to direct it before. Of course, he's done the Deadpool movies. Or he's going to do in Deadpool 3. I should see he works with Ryan Reynolds a lot. I think that's a lot of fun. I think he's a great director. He was supposed to direct it before, but now he's only producing it. So, I don't know. Sabrina, what do you think about this? Do you think this sounds good? Or do you think it sounds like Goonies in space? Or what do you think?
I mean, I like the comparison that you made, and I also like that it's a new idea, and so I'm definitely here for it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun, and it's coming out in May. It's not that long till it comes out. There's still no trailer, which I was kind of surprised about. But it's one of those things where
there's no trailer. Interesting.
There's no trailer. I know, it's really strange, right? You would think they'd have something out by now, but they haven't done anything yet. So I don't know. But speaking of a trailer that just came out, I want to talk about Across the Spider-Verse, because that just came out, the Miles Morales story, part 2, I should say, and it's like a 2-part thing. So Across the Universe or Spider-Verse part 1, part 2 will come out later. But the very first big long trailer and the international trailer dropped too this week, and it's a lot of fun. I'm going to say the international trailer, especially for me, because it starts with Tobey Maguire, then it goes to Andrew Garfield, then it goes to Tom Holland, and then it goes to Miles. So I think it's a lot of fun. Now, there's not saying that they're in this, but it kind of makes you wonder. You see those shots in the trailer, and it has like 1 million Spider-Men in here. So wouldn't you think that you would have them in here too? Could be a fun cameo for them. I don't know. It's also outside their world, but it might happen. But it seems like it's all about sacrifice right here. Like maybe Miles' dad's going to die, or maybe it's alluded that he could die, and Miles wants to save him, but they're saying like he's his Uncle Ben, because there's a lot of reference to Uncle Ben, like Uncle Ben had to die. And it's like, why? Why is it to die? Like, we have all this multiverse shit. Can't we save people? So That might be fun. Before they're talking about how it's going to be a lot of love story, which I could see that too in the trailer as well. That there will be quite a bit of love story happening in this too. Oscar Isaac killing it for me. I thought Oscar Isaac looked great in this too. Like he's very intense in this trailer too, as Miguel O'Hara, and he looks freaking awesome. And they had that whole lobby with all the Spider-Man, and then they showed the baby Spider with Peter B. Parker. That was a lot of fun too. I mean, it just looks like fun. I love the initial one. It was great. Good action, fun Spider-Man movie. This just seems to be growing on that. Doesn't seem like it's going to be like a bad sequel. It seems like they're only going to make it better, and they're going deeper into the multiverse than they've done with anything, pretty much. So, Sabrina, you saw this trailer. What do you think? Are you excited about this? Or did this make you more excited, or are you kind of like meh about this?
I'm super excited. I loved the first one. I loved the first one. Honestly, like it's one of my favorite superhero movies, which probably sounds shitty, but I fucking loved it. The music was great. The every single actor in it was great. The concept was great. The trailer for me was not like overwhelming. Like I wasn't like, oh, this makes me super excited to watch it. The first one makes me super excited to watch it. The trailer was kind of like meh. I mean, I don't know. I think there's some fun things, some fun aspects. I was definitely missing. I was missing Spider Pig. I was
Yeah, no
definitely
Spider Pig in
missing.
this.
I was also missing Nicolas Cage. I was
I don't think
missing.
he's in this either. They're saying he's not in this too.
I
So
know. So I'm saying like I'm missing some elements from the first one that I really enjoyed. And if it's not broke, why would you fix it? If there's a Spider Verse with all of these Spider Men, like why wouldn't you have Nicolas Cage? Why wouldn't you have what's his name? John Mulvaney. He did Spider Pig, right? Um,
Spider Pig, Spider Pig.
and I loved the Asian girl with the spider bot. Like I want all of those people to be involved. So I'm kind of bummed about that. But I think it's going to be great. I have very high expectations for it, which is always setting myself up for failure. Usually, not always. Usually, but I'm super excited about it. Honestly, I really am.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect because the first trailer really didn't show much. It just showed pretty much, Gwen coming to his bedroom and being like, "I gotta take you here for the Spider Verse," and that was that. So now
Easy
we get
there
to
with the
see.
bedroom. Okay, you're making it sound very
Yeah.
X-rated.
Well, she appeared in a portal into his
She
bedroom.
was like,
And
"You
was
want
like,
to get
"Come
out
on,
of here?" He
Miles."
was like, "Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go."
Yeah, he wasn't like, "No, let's go in the bed first." No, he was like, let's go." And the whole thing where it's like he's being chased by all the Spider-Men, the whole point thing was a lot of fun. I was laughing because that's like, of course, the meme. Everybody loves to do all the Spider-Man pointing at each other. So they did the meme in there too, which it did in Spider-Man No Way Home too. They did the same thing, all three Spider-Man pointing at each other. We did this here now too, which I think is great. It just looked like fun to me, which the first one was. And like if you're gonna go there, like go there. They actually had the Scarlet Spider in there too, which I saw, which was great. And the Oscar Isaac thing seems like he's not like the main villain, but more like the person trying to hold it all together. And they're saying
Yep.
like, he made the lobby because of everything that's been going on in the multiverses to bring all the Spider-Men together. Whatever Miles is doing, I think he's gonna think in the day that it's bad for everybody. It's bad for the universe. And so that's why he's gonna stop him doing whatever it was. But I feel like that he's not the villain. It seems like people want to make him the villain, but I think at the end of
No,
the
I
day,
don't
he's
think
not
he's
gonna be
the
the
villain
villain.
at all. No, no, of course not. There will be a villain. I'm a villain. I'm sure. It's just not going to be him. I don't think. And I think that obviously in the cadence of a superhero movie, Miles Morales will be able to save his family and also save the multiverse. Like it's kind of annoying when you know the end of a show, but or the end of a movie, or like the goalposts. You know what I mean? Like I see it's very, but all of these movies are very predictable in that way. They follow the hero's journey like very specifically, and it is what it is. But I think it's going to be definitely a good watch, and I hope that the fantastic music selection continues, and the voice acting is really really good. Which is not it's not that it's uncommon, but like for something like this, like there's a lot of expectation for it, and I think that they deliver.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar Isaac is a beast in his own too.
He's
So having
amazing.
him
I
in
love
there,
that guy so much.
and you can tell he's like acting his ass off too in that, just in the
He's
trailer.
my
So I
number
know
two. He's my number two after Ryan Reynolds, everybody. Just so you know, Oscar Isaac is my number two.
you were leaning towards Chris Pine before, and I was like, calm
Oh, I
down on Chris
love Chris
Pine.
Pine. I love Chris Pine, but I think
Calm down
Oscar
on Chris
Isaac.
Pine.
Chris Pine's number 3, and a very close number 3. But Ryan Reynolds is bar none number 1. Oscar Isaac is 2. Chris Pine is 3. I just saw Chris Pine in something else. He's amazing. Horrible Bosses 2 randomly came on HBO, and I was like, I forgot he was in this fucking movie. He's so good. He's amazing. I love Chris Pine. Stop being rude to Steve Trevor. I don't appreciate it.
He's funny. I'm just like, I don't know. I just not as sold on him. Like, I think he did a good job as Captain Kirk in the Star Trek movies. I think he did a good job.
About that movie's stupid and nobody cares. Like, that's ridiculous.
No, I think that kind of made his career. I
don't give a fuck if it made his career or not.
Yeah.
He's better in so many other things like that. Like, who wants to be young fucking, what's his nuts? Crispy Pines?
Crispy Pines? What?
I'm trying to put it up.
Crispy Pines.
Do we not like Crispy Pines? He's a friend of the show, by the way, just so everybody knows. Chris Pine, friend of the show.
He's something.
Oh, you're so jealous. You're jealous of everybody that's awesome. Okay? He's awesome. I watched that stupid Wet Hot American Summer reboot, and he was like the rock star. I'm like, he doesn't age. I feel like he sleeps in the same cryogenic chamber that Cher sleeps in. Like, he's just so amazingly looks the same all the time. Like, ridiculous. And he's funny. He's dramatic. Like, he has it all as an actor. I really love him.
Yeah.
I'm giving him all the points.
Yeah, he's something, I will say. He's something.
You're just jealous. You were so jealous of Chris Pine's amazingness.
But speaking of Spider-Man, I want to talk about somebody that was in the very first Spider-Man with Tom Holland, where he said, "Do a flip, Spider-Man." And I'm talking about Zach Cherry. Zach Cherry. And now Zach Cherry was on Severance, but he's also coming to the Great American Baking Show. That's right. He's the host in the Great American Baking Show. Cook a cake, Spider-Man. You know. So he's coming in to be a host. I guess he did like a holiday special that he came in for. So they brought him in. They also brought in Ellie Kemper, who played Kimmy Schmidt in the Kimmy Schmidt's
the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Unbreakable on Netflix. So they're coming in to be the new hosts. Of course, Paul Hollywood and Prue are going to be the actual judges again. But now they're coming to America. So if you're a fan of the show, it's one of those things. This is a reality conversation. We never have these, but this is a show that Sabrina got me to watch, and I actually end up binging most of it because it's just fun. It's just so a fun, dumb show, but it's fun. You know, it's cooking.
Dumb, it's amazing. How dare you?
But this is coming to
hate Chris Pine and you hate the Great British. What is it called?
This one's to be called the Great American Baking Show. The Great British Baking Show is the OG one.
I don't know. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Yeah.
but it's going to be coming to the Roku channel in May. So starting in May, they're going to heat up these kitchens. They're calling it a melting pot of people from all over the country coming to the tent. Americans, and Prue is excited. She's rather hoping that these bakers will bring something new to the tent. And the U.S. version is going to get great hands and is backed by Love Productions USA. So yeah, they also have the company responsible for the show The Amazing Race that's behind this. So May 5th, if you're a fan of the Great British Baking Show, you'll be able to watch on Roku for free streaming on Roku, the Great American Baking Show. And we got Do a Flip, Spider-Man coming in there. She's funny. She's like a hard pass. But he's funny. I like him a lot. And then he popped up in Severance, which I love that show a lot too, Severance. And
he was in actually the first season. I think the first and second season. Definitely the first. I'm not sure about the second, but
he was in
just the first. But he was really great in that as well. And
I didn't know that.
I'm very out to lunch on you. I liked it, and then I hated it, and then I liked it, and then I hated it, and I'm kind of. I think overall, after watching all of the seasons, I'm kind of out to lunch on it still. Like, it's just not as what I expected, and it's very like wants to be Dexter, but it's not as good as Dexter, and like it's just it kind of goes off the rails for me. And I know that's not what we're talking about, so I'm going to bring it back in. Sorry about that. So
you love this show though.
What?
You love this show, The Great British Bake Off. So
I do.
You must be excited about the Great American Bake Off.
No, I'm not excited because I would like to be the host on it. Fuck you, Kimmy Schmidt. Kiss my ass. I need that job. I don't know how you got that job and I didn't get that job because that would be the greatest thing ever. Like I would love, 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 love to be that fucking
Unbreakable.
person. Like I mean, honestly, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Seriously, like she's ish on like every level. And Rachel, I agree with you. Penn Bagley is great in it, and the acting is great in the show with everyone. Every single actor is fucking bar none amazing, but it's just the story that annoys me. Like that's. I'm sorry, Brian, that we turned this into a you conversation.
It's okay.
I'm gonna I'm gonna bring it back around to the Great
Coming
British
back
Baking Show.
around.
The Great British Baking Show is amazing. You should definitely binge watch it on Netflix. They only give you though like season like 5 through 9, which is super annoying. You have to like pirate the fucking first 4 seasons or something, or find them somewhere.
Well,
I don't
because
know
they were
where.
all different people. It was like before
Who
they
cares?
actually
Like, dude, the
they
show is
started on one
so
network,
good.
went to another,
It's
went to
so
another. You
fun.
know.
The people have great personalities. Like they're super fun. The bakers are super fun. The casting is really good for the home bakers. And you know, it's I don't know, like I every time I get to the end and I'm like, oh, who's gonna win? Like it's so, you know, like when you're watching, I'm like, oh, he's definitely gonna win. And I'm like, he's gonna get a handshake. Like there's like a thing where Paul Hollywood gives you a handshake if you did really well. So it's I don't know, it's just a really fun show. But I'm also a fan of like Top Chef and you know, a lot of like Hell's Kitchen, like a lot of cooking things because I cook and I'm Italian and I love food. So that's kind of my jam. And my mom actually, shout out to Schmoopy, made me watch this. Didn't make me, but she told me to watch it, and I did. And I was binging it, and Brian was not around. And then he came back and he was like, "What are you watching?" And then he just fell very easily into the cycle. So it's very likable. I'm not excited about Kimmy Schmidt and Spider Man in there, honestly, because I would love it for me. I would love it to be me. So jealousy, number one. Number two, I don't know if anyone could match those idiots in Britain. Like the fucking guy with the furry sweaters who we call something Ramon. Like what do we call that guy?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Like, he looks like he's from the Ramones.
He
And then there
does.
was like this guy with alopecia who was, you know, and they're really not funny, but for some reason I've grown to love them. It's very weird. So I feel like I'm going to be very critical about this. And I hope that it will be up to snuff for me because I really, really do love that show.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not really sure either, but I don't know. Like, you have the same judges, so the same judges are good. So if they're good, and you know they kind of follow that formula, you think that it would be good too. But you just don't know. They're good. They're trying to do something
Hold
different.
on.
They
I'm sorry,
they've done.
Brian. I don't mean to interrupt you, but Rachel made a very good remark, which is exactly why I love the show. The competitors are so courteous. They help each other.
They
Like
are very
if
courteous.
someone's not done, like everyone will run and help them like finish their shit. Which if it was like Chopped or Top Chef, they'd be like, "Huh, go fuck yourself." You know what I mean? Like in
Hmm.
America. So I hope that America doesn't fuck it up like that because that like they all sit there and hold hands like at judgment time, like they're all supporting each other and like I that
They're
is Rachel, it's a really, really great point. Like I honestly, that's why I love it. And Brian, how many times did I say that to you? I'm like, look how supportive they are of each other.
they actually care. You're like,
I don't know what season it was, but when Jurgen was on and Giuseppe, and it
yeah,
was
that was a
like
good season.
German week, which Giuseppe happened to win because he's Italian, which is weird because Jurgen is German. But Jurgen was in the tent with everyone at night, like teaching them how to cook German shit, like, you know, make German bread, make, you know what I mean? He gave them all lessons. Like that's not something that anyone in America would do in a competition. And so
Not
I'm
normally.
really, no, not ever. Not normally, not ever. Like Americans are dicks and we all are very competitive and you know, they like had a community of people and that they all supported and loved each other, you know, and I'm sure some liked others, you know, better than, you know, other people, but like at the same time, like at the end of the show they do this like recap where like they show pictures of them all hanging out later on. Like it's just I don't know, it's so heartwarming and it's just a fun show. And I'm sorry to derail what you were doing, Brian, but Rachel really just made a really great point, and
Yeah.
I that's one of the reasons I love the show. So
No, I get it, and I like the show a lot too, and that's why I saw this. I'm like, oh, maybe it'll be good. They're doing an American version. They're trying something different. But you're right, the Americans might be a lot different, and it might take away some of the heart and the soul of the show. And then it's a whole different show. And is it even worth happening? That's the question. Then why do we dive into this again? It's almost like you're rebooting it again. because everyone loves reboots. It's like you're rebooting it, but you're doing it with Americans now as opposed to British contestants. And they're like I said, they're not all British contestants. A lot of them are coming from different places in the world. It's just they shot there, and this they're actually focusing on actually being all Americans. So different kind of concept, new show. It's like the same show but different. And that kind of is one of those things that happens all the time. We talk about it all the time. And that leads me to my next.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Segue.
Oh, you're good. And I was going to say, that leads to my next story because, again, here's something that a lot of people are going to be like, why are we doing this? A lot of people are going to be like, why are we doing this? And it's like, it's one of those things I just got to report on because I saw this and I said, serious. I did a character on the Valley when his name was Lewis. And Lewis popped in my head. I was like, seriously? So there's a new Harry Potter coming, everybody. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Harry Potter is coming back as a series now. That's the idea. So HBO and Warner Brothers are actually negotiating right now to create a series based off all the books, a complete reboot. They're going to do at least 7 seasons because each season is going to cover one book. All new casting, new Harry Potter, new Hermione, new everybody. Everybody's coming to be new people, all new cast, probably go younger, everything else. And I know, enemy of the show, this is happening now. This hashtag truth. The Fantastic Beast has failed, and so they're done with that shit. They're like, we're done with that. We're not going to do that. So they're letting that shit die. No more Dumbledore and no more of his love, with him and Grindelwald. That shit's done. That's gone. Hey, JR, good to see you. So that's going away. But they're like, you know what? WB is like, we need to get some more Harry Potter. So they're actually talking. I know. They're actually negotiating with J.K. Rowling about this. They're negotiating with her. They're figuring it out. And they said that here's what they're saying, though. They're saying that she will not be actually involved in the actual project if it does get greenlit. When it gets greenlit and all covered, all the contracts are done. She'll be just the author.
Involved? It's her fucking story.
I know. They said she'll not run the show day to day or serve as any kind of creator for the show, as a primary creator.
They want to separate her because she's a fucking cunt.
Yes. She'll be an advisor, though, to help ensure that the show remains loyal to the source material.
Foot up her ass. She's a fucking
That's
loser.
what they're saying. Yes. I mean, but I heard this and I'm just like, there's really, honestly, you already have the backlash, right? Already have the backlash. Yeah, she's still getting banged from it. You're right. She's going to get more.
Herself. I don't know why anyone is giving her a platform anymore. Honestly, it's so fucking annoying.
But this is their thing. WB's just like letting it happen. So they're like, let's cash in. This was a rumor before about a new movie series, but now they're going to go because they're working on the project. I should say they're working on HBO and Discovery merging. So they're saying one of the ideas is they need fresh new content when they launch their new thing. It's just going to be called Max. It's not HBO Max, it's not Discovery Plus. It's going to be called Max. So when that launches, this is one of their premier shows they want. They want a Harry Potter show to be running wild on Max for the big premiere. And they want to start off with Sorcerer's Stone. That's a Hulk Hogan reference. But they're going to be starting running wild with this. That's what they said.
Aware. It's still fucking dumb.
But again, it's a reboot we don't need. You already have controversy behind this. You already have enough issues. Like for me, I'm like, why die? No, and no one needs any more Harry Potter reboots from this shit. Nobody needs it. You already made the movies.
Yeah, and it was good when it happened. From what people say, I didn't watch any of that crap. Honestly, I'm sorry. That's not my thing.
You tried watching. You fell asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep every time. It was like the fucking cars like floating up to a window, and they're going through a fucking hole in the subway. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like I have zero tolerance for any of this fucking bullshit. But honestly, like I don't know how anyone wants to put like they're aware of what the fuck is going on with her, and they're like, it's cool. We'll just not make you associated with it, even though you wrote it. Like that is a bullshit back out fucking go fuck yourself if I've ever seen one. Honestly,
yeah.
Like I have zero respect for WB for doing that, and I definitely have zero respect for her for being a cunt. And I kind of have zero respect for fucking Harry Potter because it's just not my thing. And so if it was my thing, I don't think that my opinion would change one iota, to be honestly. Like if I liked the series and like was into it, I don't think that would change my opinion at all because This woman has like, I mean, I have respect for her because she lived in her fucking car and was like up against nothing with her kid and wound up writing this whole series. But like coming to find out who she is, like I don't want to support somebody like that. So I'm just being 100 on who I am as a fucking person, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and the thing is too, it's like honestly, it's again one of those things like even besides all that shit, it wasn't even that long ago that they finished all this, you know? It really wasn't. And now you're gonna reboot it again, and you're gonna make another project out of it and just bank off it again and then give her money. And I mean, do they need this? They really don't need this as it is. Like, I mean, it's disrespecting the franchise and the actors before that. You know, there's for me, I'm like, it's just not necessary. It's just not necessary. And again, you're already talking to this woman who you said you were putting space between you and WB. Yeah. And now you're
and
openly going into negotiations with them.
Good point. Like
they were all like against, against her.
Somebody said that, I thought in the chats. If they did and I didn't put it up, I'm sorry. But like, yeah, they all came out and to be supportive of the opposite of her fucking bullshit. Like, the transgender shit and like fucking the fucked up shit that she said. Like they all came out and said something about. And so Warner Brothers is like covering their ass, being like, she's not going to be involved, like to try to make it okay. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. And I don't think anybody wants it. And I think it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. And this is like the fact that, I don't know, I just feel like they could do other stuff. Again, as we've said in this show before, originality goes a long way. And you know what? At one point, Harry Potter was original, and it was great at that point. And then now, like everything that's come out with her, it's like just stay away, leave it alone. Yeah, you already have Hogwarts built and shit. Take a break, do something else.
Stay in your Scottish castle and keep being a cunt, and leave us the fuck alone. Like I don't need you in my life anymore. Like I really don't. Yeah, I've had enough of her.
It's coming though. That's what they're saying. It's going to be launched. They're negotiating. Well, of course, it's not 100% there yet, but they're moving forward with it. It's been ongoing negotiations, and they're trying to still say they're keeping her at a distance, PR thing. But end of the day, you can't keep her from a distance with this. You just can't.
Of course not. That's the whole point. It's like, stop being a fucking loser liar. Like, just fucking be honest. And
Potter was never original. You're right, Lexi.
Yeah, exactly. But like she is the creator of the shit. Like it doesn't matter. Like if she's gonna have final say or whatever the fuck the arrangement is, like she's not gonna not be involved. So stop trying to make some press release
casting
that makes it seem like it's cool when it's not. Like fuck you, WB. Fuck you.
She was big into casting for the initial ones. Everything, across the board. She was a big part of all of it.
To be fair, like I did not watch any of it, and I think it's crap, but everyone loved it, so she probably did a good job with the casting. But that's not my concern. My concern is she's a cunt, and that she can go fuck herself.
You can't, be mad at the cast from like what they did their work in the past. You know what I mean?
Super
unless they stood up for her,
No, no one did. No one stood up for her.
Yeah,
no one stood up for her. Rightfully fucking so, by the way.
But this is something that WB has been wanting to do. They've been talking about a movie series. Like I said before, the Dumbledore and the Greenwald thing didn't work out too well for them. The last one really didn't do well, and so they're still trying to cash in on this franchise. And so now they're like,
the last one. I mean, I didn't like those. The reboot ones I watched because I like
Fantastic
that guy.
Beasts.
I like that guy. What's his name?
Jude
Eddie
Law?
Redmayne. No,
Eddie Redmayne, yeah.
I love Jude Law. Jude Law's one. He's number 5 on my list.
He'd be interesting Captain Hook for sure.
I just, I'm excited. I'm actually excited for that. I just don't know. The new ones were like just so lackluster and stupid, and I wouldn't have. You made me go watch them. I didn't want to fucking see that shit. But I did. The first one was okay, and like I liked the Johnny Depp thing, and then they recast Johnny Depp with that fucking weird dude from Hannibal, and I'm like hard pass on that. Like it's just, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the franchise has said like it had success in the beginning, and then now they're beating a dead horse. And I honestly, I hate to be a bitch, but I hope it fails.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They say they want to do a season for each book, but you don't even know how far it'll get.
Yeah, fuck them. Fail.
Yeah. But Harry Potter, everybody,
can go fuck itself.
More is coming. If you're ready for it or not, they're going to keep pumping it out because that's what they do. And they love it. They'll never stop. But anyways, we gotta talk about something else, because now it's time for our featured story of the night! All right, everybody. I want to get into the Mandalorian a little bit now. You know, we've been doing our kind of open discussions about the Mandalorian the past few weeks, so it's a little bit of time to talk about the newest episode, episode 6. Only 2 episodes left, everybody. 2 left, and that's it. Her and Vin Diesel with Fast getting good license deals. Yeah, it's true. So Mandalorian is coming back. Episode 6 just came out. 2 episodes left, and this new episode, I think, it was very interesting to me. It's like a buddy cop movie, if you ask me. It's really like a buddy cop. You got Mando's the bad cop, and you got Bo-Katan's the good cop, and they're trying to solve this case in this new city because they want to get to the Mandalorians. All right. Now, the biggest thing, I just got to say it off the bat, because if you watch this episode, you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Like, how is Jack Black and Lizzo in this episode? How are Jack Black and Lizzo together, married in this episode and ruling this kingdom? It comes out of nowhere. And they popped up, and I was just like, wait, and you hear Jack Black's voice. You know, I'm like, is that the D? You know, that's the first thing I thought. I'm like,
no onions. No onions.
I would like a seasoned curly. And I thought,
I want a junior bacon cheese. No
I'm like,
onions.
There's no way this is him. There's no way this is him. That's what I was thinking. No way. And then all of a sudden, there he is. Got the big old beard, the long messed up hair like he did for that Superman thing he was doing not too long ago. I died laughing. And I was just like, okay. And it kind of takes me out of it a little bit too, because they have been being a lot more dramatic this season. And the comedy's not like that. And especially like Lizzo and him together. I mean, I guess they must be big Star Wars fans to like bring him in. And this was just like really leading up to Bo-Katan getting the Darksaber. That's what this whole episode really was about. But it was this weird side story in its way. I guess it's trying to get them closer, Bo-Katan and Mando. It's interesting to me. I enjoyed it overall, but again, I'm like, stuff like that took me out. Christopher Lloyd popping up. Fuck yeah, Christopher Lloyd. I love me some Christopher Lloyd. I'm like, this is cool to see him. Yeah, right? Spring, were you expected to see him in this?
No, absolutely not. I don't expect him to see him alive. Like I can't even with that. Like that. When I heard his voice, like it doesn't even look like him. When I heard his voice, I was like, Jesus fuck, that's Christopher Lloyd. Like, but I actually had to like stare at the screen and be like, are my eyes and ears deceiving me? Like it's crazy. That was crazy to me. And Jack Black, honestly, like I get what you're saying 100%. But I feel like he worked. I just felt like Lizzo's acting is not up to par. And so it kind of wasn't amazing for me, like their union. Like I had zero problem with him. And I love Lizzo. Like I listen to her music all the time. I think she's great. That stripper movie she was in with Jennifer Lopez and the chick from
stripper movie.
Yeah, she was in that stripper movie with Jennifer Lopez and the fresh off the boat chick, Constance. Fuck, I can't remember her name. It was a stripper movie, dude. It was like nominated for awards like last year, and everyone was mad that Jennifer Lopez didn't get nominated. Like, you don't remember this?
I do not. No, no.
Well, I can't. I wish I could remember the name of the movie. I would like to Google it, but I'm afraid I might go green again. So anyway, like it's not that she's not a good actress. It's just this. I don't know. This was weird. I did like how much Grogu liked her and like how he helped her.
When he flipped in the air.
Yeah,
like landed in her arms. Like, can I hold the baby?
Feeding him. And then he was like at the bottom of her dress, and he kept like moving her dress aside. Like that was super cute to me. I just felt like I didn't really believe her being in that realm. You know what I mean? I believed Jack Black being in that realm, and I believed Christopher Lloyd being in that realm, but she didn't really sell it for me. And that's sad to say, because I do really appreciate her as an artist, as an actress, as a person. Like I think she's aces. It just didn't land for me, unfortunately, on Mandalorian. How dare you put that adorable picture of Baby Yoda next to me? I love you so much. Like he is the cute. I just want to grab him. And I was so jealous. Like she was like petting his head, and I'm like, I want to do that. This is a very, very jealous episode for me, because everything that people are doing, I want to do. Like I would love to be Kibby Schmidt on fucking the Great American Baking Show, and I would love to have been Lizzo and touch that little fucker. He is so fucking cute. I cannot take it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I like their interaction. I did like him flipping in the air. Extra onions, please, GR says. I did like that. And I thought, you're right, Jack Black, he was Jack Black, but I did enjoy
I didn't
him.
have a problem with him, honestly, but
I
she,
enjoy
like
him,
her
but
act,
it was
she
weird
just,
though.
it seemed like she was just reading her lines, so it took me out of the universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then but them going through and like solving the case was kind of fun. Them with the droids
Yeah,
was kind of fun.
absolutely.
The droid bar, that was interesting to walk that man. And then Mando, like, she's like, don't talk to him, I got this. And he still jumps in and talks about
Yep.
frying his brains and turning off his voice box and shit.
I
And
feel
then
like there's a lot of bad press about Bo-Katan Kryze in this season. Like, I think she's the reason that people, like, the viewership is down like 200 million viewers or something for some reason.
it's
And
insane.
I honestly don't know why. Like, I love her. Like, I know
She's
she
great.
was like a little salty at times or whatever, but I like their relationship and I like that they have each other's back. And I like the mission that they're going to take Mandalore back. Like, I don't know why people are mad at it, honestly. And I hope it's not a sexist thing where like she's a woman and like people are fucking pissy about it. Like, because if that's what it
I
is, you
hope
can
not
all go
either.
fuck yourselves. But she's fucking badass, and it's kind of annoying. Because this season has featured Baby Yoda so much more than any other season, or Grogu, whatever you want to fucking call him. I will call him Baby Yoda for life. And I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like they're doing a good job of showcasing him and showcasing Bo-Katan Kryze and Din Djarin's relationship, and like also bringing the Mandalorian back together. I mean, the show is called fucking The Mandalorian. Like, that's the goal. Like, and they're moving towards that. So it doesn't make sense to me that people are upset about it, and I'm kind of bummed that they are, because I'm really enjoying this season.
Yeah, that bums me too, because I think it is like I was putting up on Facebook. I was like, is anybody watching The Mandalorian? Because I'm like, I think it's really good this season. A lot of people haven't been watching it, and I'm like, I just don't get it. Then again, maybe people are just like, they didn't watch the Boba Fett spinoff, and so maybe
Right.
they're confused going into it, because you miss a lot if you don't see that.
Right.
I thought it was funny they did an autopsy in this too. It's like they pull him, like the robot, out of like a little morgue thing, and they're trying to find out like what's going on. I guess Christopher Lloyd, spoiler alert, like gave them this little nanobots to change them up and make them go evil again.
I'm actually kind of confused as to why he did that. Like, that doesn't make sense to me still. Am I alone?
There was really like, because he sided with Count Dooku and he sided with the Empire. And so I guess he wasn't really happy with where the way the world's gone.
Destroy a society? Like, it didn't land for me. Like, what
it didn't make sense to me either.
Which is kind of annoying. Like, if you're gonna make somebody a villain, I want to know why they're a villain. It should be clear, and I'm usually
then
very
he felt sorry about it.
Yeah, because Lizzo's family has employed him for years or whatever. Like, I mean, it just that didn't land for me. Like, why he was doing what he did. Like, I like the good cop bad cop situation and like how they went about it, but like I was kind of confused as to why he was disgruntled and why he did what he did. And I feel like that should have been tied up in that episode for sure.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more, but then like it seemed almost like it was too quick almost. Now these episodes have been around 40 minutes. And I think they should be at least 10 minutes longer. Maybe there'd be a little bit more backstory leading up to him. I mean, and then, it was just like really quick. All of a sudden they knew it was him and they went and got him. And then, that was that. And it was very fast, that moment. And it really didn't, you're right. His explanation wasn't really that in depth. I really wasn't like 100% on board with it. And a lot of people are saying this is the worst episode of the season. And I'm like,
oh, I think the worst episode of the season, by far, the episode that showcased that fucking Empire bitch with the fucking
Kane?
guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what her name is, but with the guy who
Kane.
like she fried his fucking brain. Like, that episode was fucking shit. This is way.
That was the longest episode of the season. That was the longest one too.
Stupid.
That was like 52 minutes or something like that, 54. But this was just like, I just felt like there could have been a little bit more. And then the fact that when they actually went and fought at the very end, so the actual Bo-Katan's like, we're gonna go to get to the Mandalorians, and then she gets to the Mandalorians, and they have that she's like, what are you going to say to her? That's what Jen said. What are you going to say to her? What are you going to say? And then she's like, I'll figure it out when I get there. And then right away, she challenges them for leadership. I thought that was a lot of fun. That battle was great. And this is like people saying not enough action on this. I'm like, right there shows you some great action. They get into it. They fight. It's awesome for me. I really enjoyed that a lot. She's like flying through the air. And she's like sparing him in the air and flying over a ship. And then she's like, you surrender. And then he hits a fucking jetpack and he goes flying in the air. It was really cool. I thought that was great. And then it ends with, of course, the Darksaber. And they're like, what do we do with this Darksaber? Like, and then Mando wants to give her the Darksaber, and they're like, you can't just give her the Darksaber. And he's like, well, she actually, this is a good payoff for me. She earned it in that previous episode when she saved his life, and then she took the Darksaber, and that was, her actually getting it because she destroyed that villain that had captured him. So now she deserves it. So he didn't have to fight. He just gave her the Darksaber, and now she has it, and she's standing there at the very end holding that Darksaber. And it's like, okay, it made me really go, that's what this whole season really is. It's leading up to her being the Mandalorian.
Taking control of Mandalore.
Yeah, it really is. And that's where they've been building towards. And I think that really cemented it for me. When I saw that, I was like, oh, they really are doing that. That's what it is. Because I was back and forth about it. Like, I was expecting more, like when you had the rejects or the rebel Mandalorians, and you see them in the beginning and they're on a mission. You see that very first scene, they're on a mission and they're like bounty hunters, just, they're working for a paycheck. I'm like, oh, so they're going to tie this into Moff Gideon, and they actually rescued him, and now they're going to have a battle, but they didn't even tie it together. They just showed them doing a job like that. So I'm like, did they save Moff Gideon, or was it somebody else? And to me, I thought there'd be more of something like that. Maybe they're waiting until the next episode. We got 2 left to dive into that, but I feel like they would be the ones that saved him. It seems like it. And now she leads them. So how will that play? I didn't think she was going to lead them that fast. I thought it was going to be one of those things that would be like, they have more of a challenge and then have a battle between both sides. But are there more Mandalorians out there? Is there going to be a big battle? Because in the lore, they are fighting in the lore. Apparently, there is different sides, and the Mandalorians are struggling to find out who's going to lead them. But this seemed like they got on board with her very quickly. And now the other side already seems like they're on board with them. So, like, are we going to go to Mandalore? And then there's, like, what's going to happen, Like, what's the big battle
here?
They're
gonna go back to where the other Mandalorians are staying, and they're gonna have a chat, and then I think that's gonna lead up to going back to Mandalore and finding the Mythosaurus. But then, like, whatever the fuck it's called.
The Mythosaur. But then where is the big conflict at the end? That's the question.
The conflict is the Mythosaur. Oh, Moff Gideon's definitely coming back. That's true. You're right. And also the fucked up thing is that I thought that happened in this episode, which we haven't discussed, is that when that guy put the little droid out there to like look and see what happened in that ship that Moff Gideon was in, there was Beskar in there. So like it made it seem like it was Mandalorian's fault, and it may very well have been, but just not like that sect of the Mandalore. As opposed to the helmet wearing sect of the Mandalore. So I think that's a very strong point that they put there for a reason.
I think so too. That's what I'm saying though. I thought it would be them, but if it's not them, who did it? Who saved him? And what are we gonna get? We only have 2 episodes left, so
no, it has to be this crew that she just.
You would think so?
It has to be. It has to be.
They're
riding an Imperial ship. I mean, all the clues are there. So? It has to be. It has to be.
We're going to have to wait and see, though. 2 episodes left. Probably like 84 minutes left, and then that's it. So they only have 2 episodes to clean this up. Or maybe they leave it open for next season. I don't know. Maybe it's not a big bow wrapped around the whole show. We'll only have time to find out with 2 episodes left, everybody. But anyways, thank you all for being here tonight. We appreciate you as always. Sabrina, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here at Kruse Control. Love having you here, of course. The lovely Miss Sabrina Vittori over here from Florida, California, I want to say. But she's Florida now. She's Florida. For now. Thank you for listening and watching the Kruse Control. Please like and subscribe. Join our Patreon if you can. And thank you again for tuning in. As always, we love you. We'll come back for some more on Friday for our Drunken Friday. We'll see you then. We got Mike and Rachel back here in the Kruse Control captain's chair. I don't know. Anyways, have a great night, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you soon. See ya!